Yo, what's going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more If My Heart Had Wings. Last time we left off, the Soaring Club became official. We finally convinced Kotori to join the club, not quit school, and on top of that, we did have a nice little heart-to-heart conversation with her as well, opening up about our own incident with our accident during our bicycle race, and attempting to find some common ground with each other. So, without further ado, let's jump right on back into it. Sorry if I sound really nasally. I don't know why, but my nose is just completely stuffed right now. So, I'll probably be sniffing a lot, and I'll probably sound very, very nasally. So I apologize about that. Oh yeah, Kaneko's here.
Wow, that was such a pretty photo, wasn't it?
I guess.
Oops, are you in a bad mood, Akari-chan?
No, not at all.
Kotori-chan appeared just as you were about to lecture them. Maybe they thought you were just being a naggy, scary person, Akari-chan.
Please don't look so glad saying that. I expected my role to be thankless.
I'm the only one who truly understands you, Akari-chan.
Thanks. Now could you let go of my hand? It's not that I'm in a bad mood or anything. I've just been thinking a bit. Say, Kaneko-san.
Yep.
That transfer student, who is he?
He's the dorm mother.
Dorm mother?
Yeah, nice guy. Have you fallen for him? Don't be ridiculous.
Even though he's just transferred here, he can already handle the antisocial Mochizuki-senpai so well. I just thought he was very cunning, that's all.
Was that a compliment?
Yes.
I see.
Again, I've said this over and over again throughout this series. This guy... Well, actually, no, it wasn't this series. It's completely different. Never mind. Ignore that. For the time being, the minimum number of members needed for the club has been reached. The vice president left the garage, together with Kaneko-san. The rest of us continued to admire the photograph that Habani-san had brought.
Such a beautiful sky.
But this cloud is a very unusual shape.
Yeah, I've never seen a cloud look like this before. Me neither. This cloud appeared before you or I were even born. Before we were born?
What on earth is this photograph? It was really beautiful, but the photo itself was similar to the pictures in our old album. It was printed on the kind of paper you'd usually get if you had them developed by the local photo studio.
This phenomenon is known as morning glory. It only occurs under certain conditions.
Morning glory?
The path of clouds in the sky can stretch for several kilometers.
A path of clouds like this, several kilometers long.
It's a very rare phenomenon. The most recent occurrence was 26 years ago. The members of the Soaring Club at that time flew in the glider and took this photograph. Wow. Then...
This photo was taken in Kazigara?
Yes? So it was one of the old members that took it?
Yes, that's right. To think that such an amazing spectacle occurred right here in my hometown, and was photographed by a senpai from the club to which I now belong to myself. What I thought was so distant suddenly turned out to be much closer, but it still just didn't feel real. I felt kind of awestruck.
Hold on a sec!
She looked like she just realized something important. What is it?
Just now, did you say that they took this photo from the glider?
I did. That's what was written in the flight log.
So that means...
Ageha and I took another look at the photograph. To take a photo from this perspective, the camera has to be above the clouds. You actually can fly this high with the glider?
Well, yes. The physical evidence is right there in front of you.
Ageha and I shifted our attention to the white aircraft. I didn't know how many meters high in the sky it was. I knew it wasn't just fantasy, but when I imagined that aircraft soaring above the clouds, it seemed quite unreliable.
The Soaring Club had its club status revoked before I came to this school. Only the equipment remained here. This photograph was among what was left here.
Amane-senpai took the photograph in her hand and looked at it fondly.
This is where Isuka wanted to go. Isuka and I were aiming for this place when we started constructing the glider.
Isuka. That name came up again. Whenever Amane-senpai talked about this person, she always became very wistful. Who was this Isuka?
Here.
Abane-san, who was listening to our conversation in silence, held out a notebook to Amane-senpai. I thought I'd seen it before. It was the notebook with the things I want to do list.
That photo was inside. This is Isuka's flight log. Why do you have this? It was in the dormitory in my room. The dormitory room. Are you by any chance living in Flying Fish Manor?
A little surprised to hear that name all of a sudden, Habane-san nodded.
It was hidden in a gap between the shelves. Its contents look like a diary. There are things about the glider and about you written in it. Me? Yes, probably. You're Isuka's close friend, aren't you?
Amane-senpai didn't reply to anything. She just looked at the worn-out cover of the notebook.
Reading this is what got me interested in gliders. It flies across the sky using only its wings to soar upon the winds, an aircraft that's just like a bird. Aiming to fly above the clouds and something like that, I thought it was amazing. But I thought it was much farther back in the past. When I looked at the dates, I thought that Isuka and the others must have graduated already. I didn't think that it would still be going on now. But if you were interested in glider...
Oh shit. But if you were interested in gliders, why don't you just come check out the Soaring Club? I asked casually. Actually, she was so interested in gliders that just seeing the real thing made her eyes sparkle. The owner of the diary might no longer be around, though.
That's... well...
Habane-san tightly grasped the hem of her skirt.
I didn't think they'd let me join. Habane-san...
Listening to her words, I felt a dull pain coming from my right knee. It was a place where she couldn't enter. That's why she believed, and that's why she didn't try to find out about... Oh, fuck, I can't read. That's what she believed, and that's why she didn't try to find out about the current status of the Soaring Club. It might have been similar to how I tried to avoid hearing any information about the Bicycle Club after I injured my knee. The more I knew, the more envious I would become.
That's why I was astonished when I saw the glider flying over the Windmill Hill. I was so excited, I could feel my heart pounding.
That was the time when Habane-san and I first met. In that peaceful landscape, she was enthusiastically watching the white aircraft flying over.
So that's how it was.
When Amane-senpai heard Habane-san's story, she took a deep breath.
Can I take a look? Yeah.
Amane-senpai put the notebook on the table, but didn't read it right away. First, she went to boil some water in the electric kettle. She prepared some tea. When the pleasant aroma of the black tea filled the air, Senpai sat down and finally turned to the book's first page. Her cheeks went slightly pink and her eyes seemed kind of nervous. Senpai's eyes went right over the page from left to right. Slowly, carefully. It looked like she was digesting it one word at a time. She took a sip of the steaming tea. Then she placed the cup back on the saucer and turned to the next page.
Fufu?
Senpai smiled. I guess something fun was written there. She was giggling, indulging herself in memories. The nervousness that was in her eyes when she was reading the first page had disappeared.
She's smiling.
Yeah. It was a calm, happy smile. Or so we thought.
Oh.
When she looked at the next page, her eyes opened wide. Something surprising must have been written there. From the look on her face, she seemed amazed as she continued to read. Amane-senpai's expression continued changing while she was turning the page. She went from smiling, to surprised, to troubled, to angry, and then back to smiling.
Hey, what kind of things are written in there? It's a record of the Soaring Club's activities, although most of it is just a normal diary. It's about how Isuka spent every day with her best friend, It's written in really bad handwriting, so it's hard to read. Amane-senpai's best friend, huh? I wonder what sort of person Isuka-san is. Quite a weirdo. Probably. Spooking people for fun? Throwing pies in the dormitory dining hall?
But when you read it, it influenced you, right?
Yeah. It seemed really fun.
We could tell by the look on Amane-senpai's face that Isuka's flight log was overflowing with funny stories. It was also proof that the time they spent together was equally fun. When she approached what was probably the last page of the diary, Amane-senpai's eyes gradually filled with tears. While she was smiling wistfully, a transparent drop ran down from the corner of her narrowed eye.
I wonder if something sad was written in there.
But she's smiling.
The log stops halfway through. The last thing that was written there was things I want to do.
The page that we were looking at?
I wanted to cross over the passage of clouds.
Amane-senpai muttered quietly and then burst into tears, while she was still smiling. Since she was smiling, she had to have been happy. Then I guess those tears were flowing because it was all in the past. Just looking at her made me feel a heart-rending pain, as if my chest was crushed. After reading the last page, she closed the notebook and then went back to the first page. It was the third time now. She still laughed, gasped, worried, and got nostalgic as if this was the first time she was reading it. We quietly watched her as she repeated this again and again. The tea that she'd only taken one sip from was definitely cold by now, but it seemed like she'd totally forgotten about it.
Looks like we have no choice but to leave her to it for now.
You're right. There were so many things I wanted to ask her about, but it didn't seem like a good time to talk. As we left the garage, the sky was dyed with the colors of sunset. With a deeper red than a sunrise, the darkness of night approached from the eastern sky.
The photo of the clouds was really pretty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Will we go to that place?
Ageha seemed itchy to do it. I felt the same way.
Well then, I'm just gonna go and show my face at the robotics club. Since I'm a member of both clubs, I won't be able to go there every day.
You don't seem that busy, so it should be fine. It was great that she was with us, even if she was also in another club. Sorry for all the trouble.
Nuh-uh, it's fine, buddy.
BAM! Ageha slammed my shoulder and turned around to Habani-san, who was following a little behind us.
Habani-san. I'm sorry about yesterday.
Pa! Ageha bowed her head very quickly.
It's fine. I don't think you have anything to apologize for. I didn't know anything about your situation, and yet I said stuff as if I understood everything. I'm really sorry.
Habani-san glanced at me. She must have realized that I had told Ageha about her wanting to quit school and so on.
I'm glad you realize it.
She said and turned her head sideways in an aloof manner. I walked determinedly towards Habani-san and... whack!
Ouch! What?
I gave her a chop on the top of her head.
What do you think you're doing?
From now on, every time you take on that dishonest attitude, I'm going to give you a chop.
What?
Habani-san was taken aback. She glared at me like I was a demon or a devil.
What gives you the right to...
Come on, there's something you want to say, right?
I'm sorry. I also said too much. You're not an ass-kisser. You're just kind to the point of being annoying. Oh no.
Whack!
Ah! Hey, that hurts, you know.
If it didn't hurt, you wouldn't learn anything. Rubbing her head, she shot me a hateful glare. Then she turned away sullenly and rode ahead in her wheelchair.
Bleh. You're amazing, Aoi. I can't believe you could chop such a pretty girl like Habani-san.
Ageha said this, slightly dumbfounded.
Well then, I'll be going. You better hurry up and go after her.
Yeah, see ya.
See ya.
Ageha went back towards the school building with light skipping steps. On the way,
It looks like things will be interesting starting tomorrow.
she shouted this in a loud voice. I caught up with Habane-san. With a meek expression, she was quietly pushing her wheelchair along. Want me to push you?
No.
I didn't know how tiring moving a wheelchair was, but if I tried using my hands to travel the same distance I normally walk, it would be exhausting. I went behind her and pushed the wheelchair.
I said I don't want it.
I told you that I'll be helping you. I can't do it all the time, but whenever my hands are free, you can rely on me.
But there's no reason for you to do that for me.
There is.
What is it?
Because we're friends. I felt a little embarrassed as I said that. I don't think I'd have been able to say that clearly if I hadn't been behind her.
Since when have we been friends?
Didn't we hang out yesterday? That means we're already friends, right? Generally speaking, it would be correct to say so. Without any way to talk back, Habane-san kept her mouth shut. For a while, we followed the route back in silence.
Aren't you going to ask me why I decided to stay?
I'm not sure if I want to know or not. What matters is the fact that you're staying in the end.
That withdrawal notice, could you hold on to it for a little while longer?
Sure. So she wasn't going to throw it away?
To me, this place is like the last bastion. I don't know if I can stay here indefinitely like Senpai, but I want to stay a little longer. However, sometimes I lose heart. I may not look like I do, but those occasions do happen.
It seems like she was trying to say that she was actually a tough girl, but I can only see you as a crybaby. If I said that, she'd just get mad, so I kept it quiet.
That's why I want you to hold on to it. Is it no good?
Suddenly losing her resolve, she glanced back at me. Why me? That question came to my mind, but I didn't say anything. The fact that it was me made me quite happy, to be honest. That's fine, but I have one condition.
What?
Habane-san put her guard up. It looks like she thought I'll make another unreasonable demand. Stop referring to me as you.
Huh?
You can call me by my first name. We're friends already. Would that be a problem? You don't think of me as your friend? I asked, a little anxious.
No, that's not it. But no, I mean, Aoi-kun.
Kun, huh? She bent forward as if to say that this is as far as she'll go. So you're gonna hold back, Habane-san? Wait, I mean, Kotori?
So overfamiliar.
No good? Then Habane.
No, first name is fine. You can call me like that.
Really? Well then, Kotori. Habane-san, no, Kotori had a complex and mysterious expression, showing signs of dislike and embarrassment. We'll definitely go there, above the clouds.
Yeah.
Thin clouds were hovering across the sunset. From now on, whenever we look up at the sky, we'll be thinking about this. I will fly. My heart was beating frighteningly quickly.
You want to cross over the passage of clouds, huh? That's what you always said, Isuka. It's completely dark. When did it become nighttime?
Clatter.
My tea's gone cold. Has everyone gone home already? I didn't think I would be able to continue here. Isuka, you reached them, didn't you? You brought them here. It looks like I can keep going. Just a little longer until the end of this summer.
Until the end of the summer, huh? Looks like we got a deadline then.
Hurry up!
Oh, calm down. We aren't in a hurry. I just finished checking out and left the convenience store to catch up with Ubani-san. No, Kotori, who had left first with the bag on her lap. Then I grabbed the wheelchair's handles. Let's go, Kotori. Hold on tight.
Alright, go!
At Kotori's signal, I pushed the wheelchair as fast as I could.
Wait, are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm totally fine. I tried to act tough, but I couldn't hide the fact that I was out of breath. My stamina's gotten worse. I managed to run this far while pushing the wheelchair, but it made me realize just how much my stamina has declined. Kotori couldn't just watch that, so she took a sports drink out of the bag.
Here, Aoi-kun.
Thanks.
You got a bit carried away. Is your knee okay?
My knee? Yeah, no problem, I think. According to the doctor, I shouldn't have any difficulties with everyday life. The problem was whether or not this was above the level of everyday activity.
I told you halfway that you could stop, but you ended up running all the way to school.
I've been in a good mood since this morning. That's because our club activities were about to start. It was Saturday, a day off, but we got up early and came to school.
You went through so much effort to get better, so take care of yourself, okay?
You're right. I finished talking and took a drink. I've sweated a lot, so I quickly gulped down the liquid.
What's with your knee?
Agaya appeared right next to me out of nowhere. It's nothing. No big deal.
Morning, Habani-san.
Morning, Himegi-san. Kotori greeted Agaya hesitantly. You got here first?
No, you guys just passed me at top speed.
Is that so? I didn't notice.
That's the first time I've seen someone running and pushing a wheelchair.
Aoi-kun, I'll go on ahead. Kotori, who felt self-conscious around Agaya, said that awkwardly and went on ahead. I think that rather than being annoyed, she was just embarrassed. Agaya probably understood that too.
Aoi-kun?
What?
Nothing. Well then, I'm going ahead too. See you, Aoi-kun.
She sounded slightly annoyed as she said that. Then she also went on ahead. Wait, Agaya. I chased the two of them and entered the garage. Hi there. Amane-senpai was already inside. She was standing in front of the drawing board with a serious expression. She was really focused and hadn't noticed us. For a moment, I hesitated to call out to her, but if we don't say anything, she could stay like this for who knows how long. Hey, Amane-senpai!
It's you guys.
Hi, senpai.
Hi! Hi.
Agaya and Kotori mimicked my greeting. We're looking forward to working with you starting today.
Yeah,
With a troubled face, Amane-senpai pointed at me.
What's your name?
Come to think of it, I never told her my name, even though we'd met several times. Second year Class A, Minase Aoi. I gave her a very sharp self-introduction and the others followed suit.
Also second year, Class A, Himeki Agaya.
Also second year Class A,
Habani Kotori. Aoi Agaya. Kotori, Aoi Agaya Kotori.
She was memorizing our faces and names in turns.
I'm 5th year, Class C. Wait, was it he? Mochizuki Amane.
She was missing so many lessons that she'd apparently forgotten which class she was in.
Thanks for yesterday. Thanks to you guys, I can stay here.
Hearing her thanks made us feel somewhat obliged to her. Is it really alright for us to join? She was hesitating about getting new members. Did she already find the answer she was looking for back then?
Yeah, you're all welcome. Welcome to the Soaring Club.
I don't know what she was worrying about, or how she arrived at her answer, but it appears she had no problem with us joining the club.
Well then, make yourselves at home.
She said that almost like she was ditching us and returned to the drawing board. She stared at the diagram with a serious expression. Excuse me. Senpai?
What is it?
What should we do?
Ah, that's right. Feel free to have a cup of tea or something. There's some manga on that shelf too.
On that shelf, there was every volume of Slam Dunk. The covers were faded. It seemed like they were in use for many years. The two girls had somewhat disillusioned expressions. My face probably looked the same.
Isn't there anything for us to do? I told you, read manga or something. Not that! Something to do with the glider! Huh?
We really want to get involved with the glider. Amane-senpai opened her eyes wide.
Really? You guys are weird.
I don't want to hear that from you. Say, senpai, could it be that it's a bother, us joining the club? She didn't want anyone coming near this garage, did she?
No, that's not it. It's just that I've been doing this all by myself until now, so I don't know what you could do.
It seems that when Amane-senpai was a step away from the national championship with the robotics club, she also did most of it by herself.
She's the type with no social skills.
You're one to talk.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Ageha raised her hand.
Go ahead. What activities is this club involved in specifically?
Ageha asked a fundamental question. I guess we already asked her a similar question before, but she only gave us an outline. If we were actually going to take part in this club, we need more specific information.
Well, it's to build the glider and fly.
That's it. I think everyone knew that already.
Making or flying, which is the main objective? After building the glider, wouldn't you normally fly?
But you're not aiming to enter competitions or anything, are you?
No, I'm not.
She answered bluntly and without even a shred of interest.
Then is building it the main objective? No, it's not. Flying above those clouds is the objective, isn't that right?
Amane-senpai nodded, though without much confidence.
How far have you gotten with the glider? A few days ago, I finally finished assembling it and went for a test flight, but...
Amane-senpai walked deeper inside the garage while she was explaining that.
The main wings have snapped.
The broken wings were laying in the corner of the garage.
It looks like they weren't strong enough. I'm reviewing the designs right now, but...
Looking at the twisted wings, Amane-senpai let out an annoyed groan.
I've redone the durability calculations, but I haven't found any errors so far. I'm stumped because I don't know why this has happened.
If Amane-senpai didn't know that, there's no way we would. As I thought that to myself, Ageha moved close to senpai and examined the broken part of the main wing. Then...
Ah, of course it snapped here,
she said right away.
How do you know that? Well, look here. The thickness is uneven and it's distorted here and there. Is it? These were built crudely, so the joints couldn't withstand the burden and snapped.
Amane-senpai was shocked.
So it was that.
And then...
It's because I'm clumsy with my hands.
She grew timid. You made everything by hand? Piece by piece?
I didn't do it all myself. The fuselage itself is handmade, though. So this is handmade.
Kotori and I were quite shocked. Only Ageha didn't seem that surprised.
I see. It's crude. I see. It's crude.
Oh no. She was totally depressed.
I was able to fix the broken meter thanks to the parts Aoi-kun got. It'd be nice if he could repair the main wings and go on another test flight.
Are you gonna repair the wings by hand?
Yeah, of course.
Ageha checked the part of the wing that wasn't broken. She had a troubled expression for some reason.
I'd say rebuilding the wings from scratch would be a better idea. Otherwise, they'd probably snap in a different place.
Amane-senpai looked like she was about to cry. Now will also help.
This is FRP, right? I've worked on this before. I think I can handle it. Let's start immediately. That way we'll be able to fly it sooner, right?
The motivation of the 3 new members had returned.
I'd really like to do that too, but unfortunately I don't have any materials. There are some parts that could be used for repairs, but when making such a big thing from scratch is concerned, a larger quantity would be necessary. How do you usually get things like that? Mail order.
On her laptop, Senpai opened a mail order website that was selling these kinds of materials.
To rebuild the main wings, we need about this much.
Saying so, she entered a number.
That's not a bad price, but there's no way we can afford it on the club's budget.
I didn't know what budget the Soaring Club had, but the price displayed on the mail order site was no small amount.
Well, that's no problem.
Click. Senpai submitted the order.
Is that okay, Senpai? Yeah, that amount of money shouldn't be a problem at all.
What did she mean by that? Could it be that the Soaring Club was getting favorable treatment when it came to funds? Nah, I think she's probably just filthy fucking rich.
It'll take a little while for them to arrive, then we can get started.
Which meant we didn't have anything to do for now.
What should we do until then? Read manga or something.
With that order, our Soaring Club president went back to staring at the blueprints. Although I said there was nothing for us to do, that wasn't entirely true. We were still beginners when it came to gliders, so we took some books from the shelf and started our own little study session. Aerodynamics, glider construction, and so on. When it came to the basics on how airplanes fly, Amane-senpai already explained them before. As for the various methods of creating what is known as lift, the more we found out, the more interesting it became. And then it was noon.
Tasty, tasty! It's been a while since my last intake of calories.
Amane-senpai was already enjoying the bread and rice balls that Kotori and I brought at the convenience store this morning. I'll just ask this for reference. How long has it been since you last ate?
46 hours. That time it was a pork cutlet bowl from the cafeteria, a large serving. Would you like to eat this too?
Out of pity, Kotori offered Amane-san her pickled plum rice bowl.
Oh, thanks. She has quite the appetite.
Witnessing the Mochizuki Amane-style eating techniques for the first time, Ageha was pretty freaked out as expected. Probably because the beautiful and mysterious senpai image that Ageha had been holding on to until now was completely annihilated. Since we had club activities in the morning, Ageha also brought a lunchbox. Are there any other parts we need? I asked senpai once she ate her fill.
There's just one. What is it? I can't get one no matter what I do. It's actually very troublesome.
From the way she said it, we all prepared ourselves for something serious.
What is it? A pilot. Shing!
If this were on TV, she would have said this with a dramatic expression while looking straight at the camera.
Aren't you going to pilot it? You flew it the other day. I'm pretty bad at it though. And last time I made a serious blunder while landing, to the point where I damaged the tail. It's true. The tail has some scratches on it. I don't have much confidence in my motor skills.
Hang on, could you come here for a second? I called Amane-senpai over to an open space. Please try to do some repeated side steps.
Oh, okay.
Amane-senpai tried some repeated side steps like I asked.
Hup, toom, hup, oops. Amane-chan, you're supposed to do repeated side steps. Yeah, I know. Hup, whoa,
These were supposed to be repeated side steps, but each time the number of steps was different. Sometimes she even turned her body. It would be just a quick movement from side to side, but it looked like an extremely clumsy dance instead.
It's true, she's terrible.
Without thinking, we all murmured in unison. Motor skills probably didn't have that much influence on handling the glider, but that clumsiness was on a pretty dangerous level.
Also, I have acrophobia.
Huh?
When I go to high places, I get scared and feel dizzy.
Then why the hell was she making a glider?
But I'm qualified more or less. I have all the necessary documents.
In other words, she's been trying really hard. You can stop. That's enough for the repeated sidesteps.
Phew, I'm worn out.
Amane-senpai wiped the sweat from her forehead. Since she's such a beautiful girl, that gesture looked absolutely great.
Me!
Suddenly, Kotori raised her hand.
I want to do it! I want to be the pilot!
As Kotori vigorously volunteered, Amane-senpai made a troubled face.
I'm sorry, but you can't do it. Why not? If I need to practice, I'll try really hard. I might not look like it, but I have great motor skills. You can't push the rudder pedal though, can you? Rudder pedal?
There are pedals in the cockpit. If you can't push them, you can't pilot it. Kotori withdrew dejectedly.
Well, I'd like to pass. I'm more interested in making it than flying.
Ageha, who was looking inside the aircraft's cockpit, said this as if it were someone else's problem. That only left one person. I want to do it. If it's reflexes we're talking about, I was fairly confident.
Alright, it's decided. Aoi-kun, you will undergo training to become the pilot.
Yes! And that's how I suddenly became the pilot. After club activities were over, we returned to the dorm. Come on, cheer up.
What? I am cheerful.
Ever since it was decided that I'd be the pilot, Kotori's been feeling down. Just because you can't pilot it doesn't mean you can't fly. The glider was a double-seater. There are two types of glider cockpits, single-seater and two-seater. The single-seater fits only one person, but the two-seater can be used by two people at the same time. Once I'm able to fly, you're the first person I'm taking with me.
Your condescending attitude is irritating. But I'll settle for that.
Alright. Well then, let's prepare dinner. Hello, we're back! I pushed the wheelchair through the doorway.
Welcome back, Aoi-kun. Kotori-chan.
Hello. Kaneko-san, thanks so much for yesterday.
No problem. I'm glad it went well. Though I wanted to try soaring through the sky too. By the way, Kotori-san, she came here. Kotori-chan!
Glump. Oof. When we entered the dining hall, an unknown woman jumped at Kotori and hugged her as hard as Kotori hugged the St. Bernard the other day.
Oh, Ni-chan, I'm sorry, I couldn't come back to see you.
Kotori's older sister was weeping while clinging to her and rubbing their cheeks together.
Wait, it hurts. Hibarine, let go of me.
Okay. When she realized that Kotori was suffocating, she released her. Who's she?
My older sister.
Kotori introduced us half-heartedly like it was a bother.
One-chan, this mean-looking boy is, well, he doesn't really look that mean, but he's a violent type that chops me and stuff, so...
Oh, come on, introduce me already.
He's our new dorm mother.
Nice to meet you. I'm Minase Aoi, the current dorm mother. I bowed my head, and Kotori's sister quickly stood up and straightened out her messed up clothes.
Sorry for the late introduction. I'm Habane Hibari, Kotori-chan's older sister.
She said the last part very proudly.
I heard there's a new dorm mother, so I thought I should meet you as soon as possible. But I've been away from Japan for a while due to my job. It's not much, but please eat it with everyone.
She bowed deeply and passed me something in a wrapper of a famous Japanese sweets shop. Thank you very much. I was surprised at first, but it turns out she was a perfectly sensible person. She seemed nice and gentle. Compared to her little sister, yeah, a completely different type.
What did you buy? Sweet bean jelly from Mifune. There's also some ice cream in the fridge. Alright, as expected of Hibarine.
Kotori rushed straight to the fridge. You can eat that after dinner.
It's fine, just one spoonful.
No.
Stingy as always. Kotori-chan looks like she's having so much fun. I was worrying for no reason. That's right, Kotori-chan.
She approached Kotori, who was rummaging inside the open fridge.
I was so happy to see you that I completely forgot about it. Are you serious about quitting school? Shh, not so loud.
There were other boarders outside the dining hall.
Hey, why do you want to quit? Did something bad happen? If so, I'll speak to your teacher. I'm not going to quit anymore. Huh? I still haven't completely made up my mind, but I decided to hang on for a little longer. I see.
Hibari-san breathed a sigh of relief.
Kotori-chan, when you suddenly said you wanted to quit school while I was away, I kept worrying and worrying. I'm sorry for worrying you like that. No, it's okay.
That reminds me. Just a moment ago she said that she was working away from Japan. The other day Kaneko-san said that Kotori's sister hadn't been here for a while. So that was the reason. Where did she go?
Overseas business trip. She's fluent in German, Spanish, English, and Swedish.
That didn't tell me much, but it's amazing.
I didn't want to go, but the company ordered me to do that, so I had no choice. Studying foreign languages is just her hobby. If it meant that I couldn't see Kotori-chan, I thought it might have been better to quit the company. No, that would be going too far, Ane-chan. No, it wouldn't be. I was actually supposed to return tomorrow, but I couldn't stop worrying, so I came back a day early.
She clung to Kotori again as she said that.
So what really happened? Please tell me everything. It's fine now. It's no big deal. It was like post-vacation blues that came 2 months late. Sniff.
Hibari-san turned her moist eyes towards me. She could probably tell that if I knew anything, I should spill the beans. I think Kotori's alright now. She wanted to do club stuff today, even though it's a day off from school.
Club activities?
She joined the soaring club, right, Kotori?
Soaring club? What's that? It's...
Have you ever heard of gliders? Well, it's like an airplane. It's used to fly through the sky.
The sky? No, that's not it, Hibarine. I'm not going to fly, or rather, I can't. I was just told today that I couldn't do it.
As Kotori frantically tried to cover it up, she sent me a sign with her glare. That's right. We don't just fly, we build gliders and stuff. I don't really know why, but I followed her lead.
Really? Yeah, so don't worry.
Hibari-san looked like she'd accepted it for the time being and didn't pursue the issue any further. Kotori was relieved too. It seems that revealing our club activities would have been a problem. By the way, sniff sniff, something smells good. An appetizing smell had been drifting through the air for a while.
I'm making a paella. I learned how to make them during a business trip. There's enough for everyone, so please enjoy.
Hibari-san's home cooking was superb. I'm tempted. It's a Spanish dish, so it's like paella or paella. Who knows? It's a Spanish dish made of cooked rice with shrimp and shellfish. It was quite refined, so it went down really well with everyone in the dorm. On top of that, after the main course there was a dessert, sweet bean jelly from a famous Japanese sweets shop. It was perfect. Apparently, Hibari-san had been visiting Flying Fish Manor since a while back, and had been treating Kotori and other boarders to her home cooking. The owner, who was the previous manager, gave her special permission to come anytime since she was aiding the disabled Kotori. Thanks to her, tonight's dinner was exceptionally satisfying.
Phew, I'm full.
Hibari-san is very familiar with everyone. At the dinner table, she was very open with her sister with her sister and the other boarders.
Yeah, you're right. Since Kotori-chan's like that, her sister's very considerate.
I guess by like that, she meant her personality and not her disability.
And she always buys presents for everyone.
I guess she holds her little sister dear to her. I guess she holds her little sister dear to her. While we were talking, Hibari-san left the dining hall pushing Kotori's wheelchair. Thank you for the meal, Hibari-san.
It's nothing. I'll clean everything up later, so leave it to me.
She'd just gotten back from an overseas business trip. She's an energetic person, despite her pretty and petite appearance. No, I'll do that.
That's right. After having such a delicious meal, you should do some work.
She said this like it was all her doing. Kotori must also be proud of her sister. Kotori, give me a hand later, okay? You also ate that delicious meal.
Boo.
For some reason, Kotori's reactions were a little cuter than usual. I wonder if it was because of her sister's influence.
Well then, before that, we're gonna take a bath together. Also, we're sleeping together tonight. In separate beds. Huh? Why? Because it's really uncomfortable when you cling to me when you're half asleep. I was looking forward to this. That's why I came back in such a hurry.
Kotori headed to the bathroom with her downhearted sister. While I was watching them leave like that, I remembered how Kotori was desperately trying to cover up that issue with the Soaring Club a little while ago. Was it because her family would worry if she were to do anything dangerous? It seemed very unnatural to me, and it preyed on my mind a little. Jesus, my fucking nose, man. Alright, I think this is a pretty good point to stop it for us. Yep. Gotta go ahead and save. And title. Alrighty. I want to apologize so much. I know I butchered some of these voices because my nose is so nasally I can barely breathe. So hopefully that doesn't continue because it's fucking annoying. But, yeah, so we're going to be the pilot, unsurprisingly, honestly. And yeah, I did kind of notice earlier that it looked like a two-seater from the sprite of it. So, I guess, I mean, right now, obviously, the biggest thing is just who's Isuka. Because clearly they're important to Amane, and they were previously at this dorm. So, we don't exactly know if they're dead, if they've just moved away, maybe. I'm kind of guessing that they're probably dead, though, for being completely honest here. But yeah, I'm still kind of wondering, like, how the fuck does this thing take off, right? I mean, how does it take off? What kind of training do we need to go through to pilot it? Like, do we need a pilot's license? Because I would kind of assume that's what we need. And then, just in general, what's Amane's deal? Like, why is she so dedicated to building this thing? Because, I mean, she's a super repeat student, right? So, clearly she's dedicated a lot of time to this. And also, what's her, like, life background? Because I'm kind of theorizing that she's just filthy rich. So, there's a lot of questions about Amane. And then, obviously, we have Kotori's sister, who knows if she's gonna appear again in any kind of important role. But, yeah. That's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you'd like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when one of those videos comes out. Anyways, that's it from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!